Hey everyone, welcome to my video on how to play Monopoly, the classic board game of buying and selling properties, collecting rent, and bankrupting your opponents. Whether you're a seasoned player or new to the game, this video will give you the strategies and tricks you need to gain an advantage and dominate the board. So, let's get started. First, let's go over the basic rules of the game. Monopoly is played with 2 to 4 players and consists of a board with 40 spaces that represent properties, utilities, and other spaces. Now, let's take a closer look at the gameplay mechanics of Monopoly. Each player starts with a set amount of money, and they take turns rolling the dice and moving their game piece around the board. If a player lands on a property that is unowned, they can choose to buy it and add it to their collection. If they land on a property that is already owned by another player, they must pay rent to that player. The amount of rent depends on how many houses and hotels are built on the property. The goal of the game is to be the last player left that hasn't gone bankrupt and the only player remaining in the game. Now, let's talk about some strategies and tricks you can use to gain an advantage in the game. The first thing you should do is buy as many properties as you can early on in the game. This will give you a steady stream of income and make it more difficult for your opponents to get a foothold on the board. Another important strategy is to pay attention to the properties that are most likely to be landed on. These are the properties that are near the beginning and end of the board, as well as those that are next to spaces like the go to jail, or chance spaces. If you buy up these properties and put houses and hotels on them, you'll be able to collect a lot of rent from your opponents. One trick you can use to gain an advantage is to negotiate trades with other players. You might be able to swap a property you don't want for one that's more valuable, or get some cash in exchange for a property that your opponent needs to complete a set. For more advanced players, there are several tactics that can be employed to gain an even greater advantage. One tactic is to strategically mortgage properties to free up cash when needed, and to buy and upgrade properties quickly. Finally, it can be helpful to pay attention to the odds of rolling certain numbers, and to use this information to your advantage when making decisions about which properties to buy and how to move around the board. Finally, one of the most important things you can do in Monopoly is to manage your money wisely. Don't spend all your money on properties and upgrades because you'll need cash on hand to pay rent and other expenses. And don't be afraid to mortgage your properties if you need cash in a pinch. Just be careful not to mortgage too many properties because you'll have to pay to unmortgage them again. So, there you have it, folks. Those are some of the strategies and tricks you can use to gain an advantage in Monopoly. Remember, the game is all about buying and selling properties, negotiating with other players, and managing your money wisely. So, get out there and start playing, and let us know in the comments how these strategies worked for you. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. I'd also like to extend a thank you to the following creators who, without them, this video would not have been possible. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next video.